So I want to do a little bit different of a video today. It's not going to be a how-to. It's more of a celebration video because as you see, we've gotten up to 998 subscribers recently. And of course, if I knew the Godfather and Godfather's Pizza, hey, it's Herman Cain. What do you know? We have now 999 subscribers. But before I knew it, we got to 1,000, and that's the number of subscribers I originally aimed at getting so I could have posts and stuff, but they then gave that to me for free. Anyway, some of you guys may know, well, most of you probably don't know, I've always been one to support spring football leagues. I think it came from the 2001 XFL season and how the media treated that league and how they poo-pooed it and completely dismissed it, and the league inevitably fell apart when NBC no longer wanted to support it because I guess they were mad that one of the games went to overtime, and God forbid Saturday Night Live actually has to get delayed because something significant is happening on television. But anyways, I've always been compelled to either go either when it was close by or far away and I could afford it. So I've always been a season ticket holder of either the XFL or now the UFL at the old ballpark in Arlington, as I will forever know it, because this was George W. Bush's attempt at building a baseball stadium, but he didn't realize that it would get eaten up by the sun. And even though the mecca of all football stadiums is within walking distance of this thing, as it stands now, the UFL will play their home games in a terrible football stadium that was meant for baseball, while the Rangers played down the street. In fact, the Rangers actually had the old stadium just northeast of the old ballpark in Arlington that's now known collectively as Choctaw Stadium, but I don't care who sponsors it, I'm not going. But anyways, we had a parking spot, and on the parking spot that we had, there was a label for this warehouse that runs this parking spot, and it was called Gambler's Warehouse, but I looked up their actual address. It's in this real nondescript warehouse building, and you have to go in and sign in, even though this thing looks like it's built in the 1960s. And you sign in and you get told, hey, it's down the hallway, and you pass some offices up, and you're hit with all these playing cards. Now, you'll notice this is not exactly set up for retail because you see no price tags. So I'm in there looking at stuff and just mesmerized because I feel like I'm at Dick's 5 and Dime in Branson, Missouri, where they had all these old playing cards and components and old gaming components from back when the silent generation was still alive. And so now it feels like you're getting into nostalgia, like deep nostalgia, because this stuff just isn't popular anymore. And it's like only a few people are keeping playing cards alive, mainly the collectors themselves, because the magicians aren't really doing much with them, and people like me are even more rare. We actually like playing card games. But anyways, everything there was expensive, but I did manage to buy this rainbow deck, and I figured it'd be a novelty as like a deck of cards made up of a bunch of broken cards, I guess. And so I guess Bicycle put this out. It has 4 different jokers essentially, but you know how I do playing cards. We'll just throw those aside, and we're going to go ahead and deal out some cards to show you what the backs look like. Each back is different, and they're not even like uniform. This is not like a scan deck. This is literally like a junk deck of cards, but I bought it because I thought the concept was cool. And you know how I am with certain things. I'm going to purchase it if it's something that just compels me. So since we got a new deck of cards and I wanted to show it to you, what better thing to do than go ahead and play a game of Klondike, which we found out was the name of the actual game I was thinking of. It was not Microsoft Solitaire, it was Klondike. But you remember that video previously where I discussed how confused I was. Even went to how to play games according to Hoyle, the According to Hoyle book, and could not find basic Solitaire in there until I realized it was Klondike, and I felt pretty stupid. But anyways, we got this new deck of cards. Let's go ahead and see if we can win a game of Klondike with it. We go ahead and do our standard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and always put the last card face up. So the first one will be a 0 row, the 0 column, followed by a 1 column, followed by a 2 column where you have 2 cards. The last one will be face up. But once you get to 7 to the 7th column and you have 7 cards, then you know you've done it right. So just do a 7 by 7 in your head. So the last one should be 7. The first one should have 1 card face up, and so forth. It's a pretty simple setup that I always do. But anyways, I know that sounded confusing, but who cares? And I'm going to play the standard way of taking 3 cards and then flipping them over so we can maintain the order. Of course, we're going to be building Ace to King in suit because it's Klondike. If you don't understand Klondike at this point, I honestly can't help you. This is the most basic solitaire game that's been on every computer system since the 1980s. At this point, you've had 40 years to figure this out. If you can't have figured it out by now, I can't help you. But anyways, decided to get my rummy holder because that makes killing 3 cards at a time a lot easier. And let's see, there's something about the first time you get a deck of cards, you want to play a game with it. Klondike seems like the best solitaire to do. I would have done Osmosis, but since that was a game I learned from Riffle, Shuffle, and Roll, or I guess it's just Mark now. I can't remember. He changed his channel name a few times, but anyways, he used to be, I guess, the solo card guy. I can't remember. He's gone through so many different names, and then skipped solo at one point. But anyways, Mark Ball had come up with the Osmosis video, so I'd never done a video for Osmosis. I don't know if I've even played it in a live stream, but that's probably my favorite solitaire to play because its chances are terrible. You don't get great chances, but with Klondike, you got some pretty good chances of winning, and I think that's why they always used it in computers. It was an easy solitaire to do. In fact, to fill in, there was a negotiation with, not much of a negotiation, a request from my programmer in South Korea that made Bahama Taxi for me, and I was giving them the idea of what if we duplicated Klondike, and some people said, yeah, I'd like to play that, but he just didn't see the merit in that, and so I think he ended up working on another project. But I think to encourage him, this would be a good video to do. Now, I know nobody's going to do this, so I don't know why I'm asking anybody to do this. But if you think you would like to play duplicated Klondike on Board Game Arena as a 2-player game with no undo button, every move you make is permanent, and basically your opponent gets to do the same exact shuffle you have, and if they advance further than you, you lose. If they advance less further than you, if they get stuck earlier than you, you would obviously win. There's no undos in this, so you just like playing in real life, but there's no cheats if you're honest with yourself. And so I was thinking about that as a concept. What if we duplicated Klondike like we did with drop-down solitaire poker? Now that we know it was possible to do that in Board Game Arena. Could not convince them to do that, so unfortunately it will not be happening. But I think this is the perfect opportunity for those of you who will say, hey, I would love to play Klondike on Board Game Arena with the exact same shuffle as somebody else, and me being completely blind to that information to where I can't see it, I can't gather any info off of it. If you think you would enjoy that game, I think you should write in the comments that you wish Klondike was in Board Game Arena, because then maybe I could use that as evidence for my guy in South Korea to say, hey man, they want to play this game, and then that gives them an easy project to do. And I say easy because it's obviously not easy. It's the opposite of easy because I can't do it. It's like Michael Jordan when he dunks a basketball. It's easy for him, but dang it, he's done it 1,000 times. He knows what he's doing, and you don't have the ability, nor do you have the knowledge, nor do you have the training, nor do you have the talent. So I think that's just something about humanity that I've discovered as I get older, is that there's just certain things. There's a reason people praise those who are talented, because they know full well they can't do them themselves, and they're being completely honest with themselves at this point. There is no, I could learn if I set my mind to it. No, you're not young anymore. The time of BSing yourself over that stuff is way over. You have to be honest, and you have to be upfront, and you have to say, yeah, I really can't learn new skills at this point. It's probably not going to happen. And the only way I probably would learn it is if I absolutely had to. And since that situation is just not going to come up where I'm going to learn how to program in Board Game Arena at all, or how to make games that work with that, I don't have the skill set for that. It's not going to be me doing it. It would be him doing it. So if you want him to do that, write a comment saying that you would love to play Klondike in Board Game Arena. And hey, what do you know? We actually won Klondike. And that was the first shuffle of that new deck. So anyways, if you actually want to play card games against other people, obviously you can't play Klondike against other people unless we get it on Board Game Arena. Come to our subreddit, Card Game Meetups, and post a public place where you'd actually meet a stranger and what games you'd be willing to play. If you'd be willing to play cribbage, put that on there. I did manage to buy a cribbage board, the 29 cribbage board from there. I'd seen it in Branson, but never bought it. Anyways, come to our Discord if you want to see more pictures of that card game store and more information about it. It's a fun place where we talk about card games all day, every day. Do call your friends, because who knows? Maybe you have some friends that actually like to play cards, and there's not that few of us. In fact, there's a lot more. If that's the case, then go ahead and call them, and do like and subscribe if you haven't liked this video or subscribed yet, and share these videos with other people you know love playing card games. Do check out our community tab where we might have a poll asking a specific question. And of course, I want to thank today's musician,